The bunny gives you a dazed look, like he's not all there.
Yeah, wow, what a shock, yeah. Huh? What? Oh, hi. So, yeah, hey, here's the thing. Don't get too close to the sticky out thing with the shape thing near the door. Thing's dangerous. What a shock. Bye.
Two black-ringed wargs, heaving, stinking mounds of gristle and malice, play like puppies with a large crimson gem. The gem feels both extremely hot and extremely cold, and yet sits comfortably in your hand. Within the crimson crystal, a galaxy of stars seems to twinkle, and beyond the stars lies a strange and wondrous realm. The stars swirl and move, and form a face, the face of an imp.
Looky, looky, looky here! What's red and black and blue all over? Wrongly, 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 wrong! Your eye decides. Your eye! Now, looky, looky, looky here! If you have 3 eyes and take away 1, how many eyes are there? Last chance! How many eyes? Oh! Righty, 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 right! Oh, very righty, right! Come inside!
The face dissolves, and the stars begin to swirl. And so too does your head, as you are taken to...
I've always wanted to see an impish pocket realm.
My! A whole world inside one little glass nut. The perfect place to hide. Although would a potted plant be too much?
The machine is manipulating time itself. I'm in a hurry here.
From the size and shape of the spirit, you deduce that this is, or was, an imp. From its expression, you deduce that it's not very happy about being dead. You are Marasaken the engineer. You keep the machine running and focused on its primary task. Just as your ancestors did, you await the answer to the great question: what is the universe? But the machine only knows what the universe is not. It searches for the right answer by eliminating the wrong ones. You expect the process to be complete soon. Any millennium now, in fact. But recently, you've been getting the impression that the machine, well, it just doesn't trust you. You are Marasaken, the engineer. After long years of quiet work, the gem falls into the jaws of two great black ring wargs, who treat it as a toy. The machine suspects you of sabotage and responds in self-defense. You flee to the one place where you know you will be safe from the death fog and the rock fire. But before you can plan your rush to the core, where you'll apply the failsafe, a falling object hits you on the head. In a flash, you are dead. But still, your objective burns in your mind. Get to the great ball of light at the core of the machine and turn off its defenses. Order is not the answer. Answer search continues. An acorn is not the answer, but it may be close. Closer than a chicken at least. Answer search continues. Dream is not the answer. Answer search continues. Hostile threat detected. Executing operator extirpation in 3, 2, 'Extirpation aborted. Returning to primary task. On touching the glowing ball of light, text appears before your eyes. Threat de-escalated. Returning to primary task. Answer search running. What is the universe? Answer not yet found. Search incomplete. Estimated search time 358,910,227 years. Estimated search time 358. Abnormal seismic activity threatened primary task operations. Operator sabotage suspected. To protect core functionality and data retention, first-level security measures were activated. Operator submitted override string. Large quadrupeds are playing with the framing device. The likelihood of quadrupeds having the capacity of play was calculated at 1 in 2. The likelihood of an operator lying about quadrupeds shaking the framing device was also calculated at 1 in 2. Operator's manner and language indicated hostility to the machine. Operator was identified as most likely primary threat. Extirpation was deemed the safest and most logical action. Threat de-escalated, returning to primary task. Answer search running. Out to touch the altar. Its cold surface a curious foil to the thrumming and clanging metal that surrounds you. Your vision clouds, your head swims, and when the fog clears, you are still standing in the Imp Temple. You look around in confusion. This doesn't seem right. There's a cough behind you. Turning, you see Xanteza. Not some allegorical figure, not some awe-inspiring god, just her. She's leaning against one of the struts on the platform, taking you in.
Moon. There is not much mirth to be had these days. But the gods turning to the creations they've abused to save them. What could be more hilarious than that? Well, I do have one idea.
She leans in, her eyes sparkling.
I have a proposition for you. I'll reveal if I'm telling the truth, but only if you disown your god.
Deep within, you can feel your god stirring, hissing like a snake.
Oh, make no mistake. I'm not asking you to support me at the wellspring, just not to be beholden to her. To think for yourself, to make choices that you think are right, not what some half-dead god demands.
The anger that you felt just a moment ago, the unchained rage of your god, turns to ice in your bones. You can feel rage becoming something verging on hate. The quiet inner voice that you have almost gotten used to is silenced, and you feel your god withdrawing, retreating, locking itself away somewhere you cannot reach.
Thank you! I haven't laughed like that in many centuries.
Her form melts away to smoke, leaving nothing but a platform bathed in light from a huge, bright moon. A chicken is not the answer. Answer search continues.
You're back! Good to see you again. Of course. Told you I would, didn't I? Sure thing. I'll start...
I'm afraid that exploring this island would only consume precious time that I need for my work. I shall be remaining here.
No one's ever regretted having extra help in a fight. I'll guarantee you that.
cave with a bare altar. Strange.
The spirit of a Magister priestess kneels on the ground, her hands tied behind her back. She flinches as the ghostly sound of tortured screams from nearby catches your ear, and hers. She steals a look upwards at the source of the screams, then looks away again with a shudder. Another ghostly scream intensifies, hitting a peak, then abruptly ends. Panic washes over the Magister's spectral features. She's next. You behold a face you've seen before, in blackened glass. Soul sickness incarnate, the rotten flesh of the world's most shameful desires, an all-knowing affliction. This is the God King's pallid envoy, walking the world. As the Sallow Man. You feel him in your head, scrabbling for purchase amongst your thoughts, looking for a way in, his madness and his anger and his hate banging on the door of your mind. Screaming, biting rage blazes across your mind, and a great roar emerges from his mouth, as if all the fury beneath the world was coming to burn the very earth. And in your mind, the roar becomes a word.
Kill! am the right hand of the king.
He leers at you. You feel his hate, his rage, his blinding thirst for blood. Your blood. He reaches into your mind. And fails. He has no power now. The power is all yours. He howls in pain, and hate, and rage, and tries to push you away, but he cannot. So he closes his eyes and summons everything. A raging torrent of memories washes through you, so fast you can barely see an image before it's gone. An elven child, the moon, the sun, the void, the dirt. The death in the fog amongst the trees. And at the last, part of the key to the mountain, Ralik, Vrogir, and Zolstissa worshipping the sun. Suddenly, for the first time since you first saw his face, he shows you fear. The God King promised him immortality, but now...
No!
The spirit of a paladin lies stretched upon a rack, all four limbs pulled tautly away from his torso. His right shoulder suddenly bulges and pops as his arm dislocates. His mouth gapes open as he screams. To your ears, it sounds like a distant echo from the other side of the valley. Ice-cold water is suddenly thrown in your face, tearing you out of your stupor. The pain makes itself known again, swamping your senses. A pale, misshapen figure looms ahead of you, a glowing tip of red-hot iron in its hand. You hear yourself croak out a plea. "Please, I don't know anymore." A guttural voice responds with a wheezing laugh. "I know." The iron touches you, so hot that it feels cold. The sound of your own screams fill your ears, while the smell of burning flesh and hair fill your nostrils.
woken. Such a pleasure. Did you miss me? Wait, don't answer that. Of course you did. My lord's given me another chance, such is his grace and wisdom. As for you, well, you're out of chances. How many have you had by now, I wonder? 2, 3, 100? It must all be a blur for you.
She peers at you through narrow eyes. Her next words do not pass her lips, yet pierce your ears as if she'd spoken them.
I will not fail him again. Every time, Godwoken. Why can't I just kill you? It doesn't matter. He'll fetch me like he always has. He won't deny me his glory, his presence, his scent.
Careful. I've spotted a trap.
Flesh is well past ripe. Whatever memories it once held are now gone.
Bring me proof that the sallow man is dead, God Woken. Until then, I have nothing further to say to you.
Good.
Your reward, as promised. The altars of the gods each reveal an affinity towards either the sun or the moon. There are pillars outside the entrance to the Council Academy. Align each pillar to the corresponding celestial body. Ralek, Vrogir, and Zolstissa favored the sun, while Duna, Tyrsendilius, Xantedsa, and Amadia favored the moon. And the lever that opens the entrance. It requires a great power source. I have one for my own use, of course, but you will have to find something for yourself.
I am the scion of the Mother Tree. The mother is in danger. A shadow hunts her. You must... The Shadow Prince is... He is the master. Please, cut off its breath. You would bring death? Death comes to you.
I'll yield to none.
This is the heart of the Mother Tree, the center of the elven universe. It looks unwell. The Mother Tree shudders, and then you hear a commotion above and around you. The elves are distressed. You may be in trouble. The device slides into the Mother Tree's sickening heart.
Your maker.
The knight sighs heavily, staring down at his broken body.
My duty is done, Godwoken, but you have a divine path ahead of you. Hurry, enter the Academy before the Black Ring can take any more lives. Please, go!
find the mother, curse her very heart. Wonderful. Then the time to cull has come.
The Shadow Prince whispers to a small, jewel-like object in the palm of his hand. In the distance, you can hear the sound of an explosion. The stench of death fog, even this far away, pervades the air.
I do so love the smell of death fog in the morning. And so it is done. The elves will live, their ancestor trees will wither. A genocide averted, a balance restored. I must say I'm quite pleased with myself. And with you as well, of course. I thank you. You have found an ally in the House of Shadows.
The ancient temple of Zol Stissa crowns the cliff. Loathsome place. A fragment of memory. Followers of the false goddess betrayed you here. You preached the Devourer's blessings. He would bring them to greatness. Searing pain. A stone hits your shoulder. A sharp crack. Another glances off your skull. Your world turns red.
Ah, the fanatical soul. Hunted by Zol Stissa's followers, he fled back to the Outlaw Empress with the Devourer's words on his lips.
Clouds of ash batter you, and flames lap at your feet, but you stand strong. It's all a trick of the mind.
What point is there in resisting the truth? When I speak, eternity answers. The Devourer's legacy is your fate. Turn away, and I will crumble you to ash. Now go to the greatest mortal city. The last two pieces of the armor rest there. One hides in an enclave of the lizards. The other is locked away by a man named Kem. Do not disappoint me.
The vision fades, but your sense of unease does not. Something watches you, cold as death. A lizard spirit bows deep before you. His torn garb resembles that of a priest.
May the Devourer bless your endeavors, champion of the dragon.
The lizard bows so deep, his nose almost touches the ground.
Forgive my impudence, but I cannot be mistaken. The Devourer would not permit you to wear that armor otherwise. A champion is true power unshackled. I am here to serve said power, as I served the first champion, the Outlaw Empress. Her legacy was recovering the Devourer's sacred bones. Yours will be conquering the world, clad in his armor. The spirits bound to each piece shall shepherd your ascension. Restore it by devouring our souls, and you will be unmatched.
Don't listen to that snake mouth. We're not shepherds. We're trapped.
Only the weak fear such a glorious destiny. The champion surpasses all weakness, for they are blessed by the dragon. For years I was foolish. I served Zol Stissa, but she was a silent deceiver. Until I met the outlaw Empress, I was lost. The Empress saw I was truly faithful, but preaching a false prophet. She led me to the Devourer, to the endless voice of the dragon. The Devourer is true divinity. He always listens, always guides, and I was his chosen preacher, a voice to the masses.
The Devourer doomed us, and the Empress reveled in cruelty. Harsh task, mistress, if there ever was one. I should never have taken her gold.
Silence! The outlaw Empress was the Devourer's first chosen, and you shall not defile her memory. Yet the enemies of the Devourer are many. When I spoke the truth, we were forced into hiding, awaiting his rebirth.
I've spotted something.
Ooh, how pincy.
What's this? I found something.
The doors loom above you, one step closer to the Council, one step closer to Divinity. The others must surely be thinking the same. After all, only one of you can ultimately ascend. Time for an honest discussion, perhaps.
The Academy. My Academy. This place was home once. Now I'm not sure what home even means. But I know one thing. I may be the last of my line, but the hope for my people lives on through me. I must try to save them. I must ascend. It is the only way to guarantee that my race will never be snuffed out. Perhaps you do know best. Curious. I was sure I would burst into flames if I ever uttered those words. Oh well. Come, Godwoken. Let's claim your destiny.
So, this is the ancient academy of the Eternals.
I suspect it's seen better days.
A bit like yourself.
The spirit of a robed woman casts a critical eye over you.
You're less robust than I'd wish, Godwoken. You truly should have put more of an effort into developing your strength. I can help to bolster you. One last lesson in strength. There is a price, unfortunately. To excel at one skill is to neglect another. Improving your strength will sap your wits. Do you accept?
A dark look crosses the spirit's face.
Lucian the Divine himself paid us a visit. We feasted with him. He raised a toast to his old teachers. But little did we realize he was poisoning us. He left us to die, then turned on our pupils. Why would he sabotage the path of his successors? It's not for me to understand the actions of the Divine, no matter how murderous they are. Now, I can still do something to bolster your strength. Do you wish for me to help you?
You pause. Lucian was the Divine. Why would he want to harm anyone in the Academy, from where his successor ought to rise?
Seems like the work of a madman, but he must have had a reason, surely. Some ulterior motive. The Divine wouldn't turn murderer for nothing, surely.
Maybe he knew something about those he killed. Maybe they posed a threat that he couldn't leave unattended.
Maybe he knew something about...
Oh, why do humans do anything? The man was probably driven mad with power. An Eternal would have no such issues.
The spirit of a dwarf gives you an incongruously cheery smile, given his circumstances.
Who do we have here? A new Godwoken. Why, what a pleasure it is to meet you. Just what was that? Have you made no effort at all on developing your constitution? You're about as charming as a dog with worms. A lesson is in order, I think. An emergency lesson. If you wish, I can do what I can to bolster your limp charms. Be warned, though. There's an opportunity cost in self-improvement. What you gain in constitution will likely be lost from elsewhere. Intelligence, I would assume.
The spirit of a lizard is seated before you, weeping profusely. She looks up at you, moist-eyed.
Godwoken, can it be true? Am I dead?
The spirit's distraught expression slides away in an instant, revealing that of a highly composed and thoroughly unimpressed lizard spirit.
Well, at least you tried. Time for one last lesson in finesse, I think. I'll have my work cut out for me with you. True finesse requires dedication, however. Sacrifice. In order to receive my aid, some other area of study must suffer a little. Your wits, I believe. Do you wish to proceed?
God woken. It has been too long. My hope was dwindling. Tell me, do you have your wits about you for the trials to come? Here, let me see. It is greater than the gods, yet also more evil than the void. The poor have it, the rich need it, and if you eat it, you will die. What is it? You ought to have studied more. Measures must be taken to bring you up to speed. One last lesson to sharpen those dull wits of yours. But be warned, equal mastery in all skills is nigh on impossible. This lesson in wits will require a sacrifice, a degree of your constitution.
Godwoken, come, come, time is short. Let's see how you measure up. Answer me this. Lizards run faster than humans. Elves run faster than lizards. Humans run faster than elves. If the first two statements are true, then the third must be... Yes, that's correct. I'm not convinced it was anything more than a lucky guess, however. You don't strike me as the intellectual type. One last lesson, perhaps, to bolster your mind. After all, it wouldn't stand for a potential divine to be an imbecile, would it? Intellect and reasoning come before all, of course. You must sacrifice an amount of learning in some other area in order to glean what I have to offer. Your sense of finesse, a fair bargain. True intelligence in exchange for a degree of sociability. Do you accept, Philistine?
The spirit of a dwarf woman scowls at you like you dealt her some grave insult while she was alive.
Godwoken, you have no right to be here. Leave!
The spirit sighs and shakes her head.
Terrible. It is you who is lacking authority, Godwoken. A lesson is in order, I think. Now, I may be able to steel you a little more in preparation for the trials to come. Improving your authority will cause your strength to suffer, however. That is the cost of molding yourself into a true leader. Do you accept?
The phantom bird pecks at the stone beneath her with a scarred and blood-flecked beak. She glowers up at you with one gimlet eye.
Student of the arena, are you? Or master? I do not teach anymore. Students, Bunch of worthless dolts. Barely any of them try to become the one through the arenas. The gods have poor choice in Godwoken, if you ask me.
An automaton, massive and imposing, creaks to life as you approach.
We can harness its power somehow.
Looks like a library.
Finally, a place where we
How
might
thrilling.
find some answers.
If you want anything read to me,
If the acorn doesn't catch up with us first.
The spirit of a rather old man dodders around, seemingly oblivious to the condition of the room. He turns and offers you a genial smile.
Ah, a new student. I admire your enthusiasm, but I'm just about to close the gallery for the evening. You'll have to return in the morning. Oh, come now, surely you must have heard of the gallery. That's the repository for the God-woken tomes. All the powers that a God-woken needs are documented in these tomes. The gallery is the most important part of the whole academy as far as I'm concerned. I will not allow it to be disrespected. I am Master Trelly, curator of the gallery. I'll be here at your service, of course, as you carry out your studies, but there's time for that yet. I'm closing for the night, as I said. I must check up the Chancellor.
You are Leonard Rawle. You are a God-woken and a thief. You keep your secrets well, even from yourself. You are Leonard Rawle, God-woken, thief. If you can't earn a place in Lucian's shadow, you're going to steal it. You think you'll find advantage in the Forbidden Library. But first you have to steal the keys. Your tutors have one each, but you can't risk getting caught. You'd earn yourself a trip to the Chancellor's chamber, one from which you suspect you would not return. Your best friend, Redulus, was your rival. You knew that he was weak. You made sure the Chancellor knew it too. And while your friend was in the Chancellor's secret room, you stole the capacitor from the Chancellor's own table. But then you heard a noise. You heard the sound of your best friend's murder. You fled. You hid the capacitors you had taken and set out to steal the rest. You were lurking here, plotting, when you were overtaken with a sense of love. You felt at peace. You felt Lucian's hand on your shoulder. You did not feel the sword blade enter your back. A hunger rises deep within you, a desire for the spirit source. This yearning is not yours, but it demands satisfaction. The hunger dies away, for now. The ghost's memories slip easily into your mind. His name is Candor, and he thinks he's ready to ascend. He thinks he can be God-woken, ready to step up should Lucian lose the war. He's wrong. He'll die. He did die before he even made it to the Chancellor to ask for permission to fight in the Arena of the One. And what's more, he was murdered. You are Candor, and you are, you believe, ready to step up. Your tutors disagree, but you want the Chancellor to hear your case. Instead, you find a man you've never met, a great and powerful sorcerer. And as his shadow falls upon you, you realize that this is Lucian the Divine himself. He gives you a smile of the utmost benevolence and grace, and you realize, as Candor, that you are far from ready. You turn and flee towards the library to warn your tutors, but Lucian is too fast. He cuts you down. You're Candor the Godwoken, dead by the hand of the Divine. A hunger rises deep with the hunger. An elegant and intelligent-looking lizard. She gives you a haughty look, then turns away. A hunger right. The hunger dies away. Her memories flow into you as water to a stream. You are Tarian Grey, you are Godwoken, but you will not be divine. You know this because you are in love with a colleague and rival. You are in love with Redulus, and he is in love with you. You have agreed to leave the Academy together, but now Redulus is missing. Redulus went to see the Chancellor, and you have not seen him since. You're on your way to the Chancellor's chambers when a man's voice calls your name. Lucian the Divine cups your chin, and a gentle pain stabs your heart. Lucian smiles at you, and then is gone, and you worry so for Redulus. Believing it comes from her own mind, she realizes the truth. She was murdered by Lucian the Divine. Redulus too must be dead, or he would have come for her by now. She bows her head and cries. She knows Redulus went to see the Chancellor in his chambers. She did not know that Lucian was already there. She weeps.
Ow! I think I'm missing something here.
Which one came next? Ah, yes. I must check on the Chancellor. Hey, which one came next? Ah,
His memory comes to you like a hound to its master. Your name is Redulus, and you are God-woken. But you know that you can never be divine. You are in love with Tarion, your rival, and that love makes you weak. You hear rumors of a god-king who would free you to be with Tarion. You seek the Chancellor's knowledge of this king, but when you find the Chancellor, he lies dead. A figure stands over him. Lucian, the great divine. He smiles at you and bids you approach him. He lays a hand upon your shoulder, and his blade slices your gut. As you fall, poor Redulus, you know that you will never see your Tarion again. Redulus awakens as if from a daze. He takes what would have been a breath, were he still alive, and breaks into a run.
Welcome to the Forbidden Library. Do not fear the truth, though it smash your world to pieces. Do not fear the truth about the gods. The gods destroy what they have made. You think them cruel, but they are not. They own us, and will do with us what they must.
A thought arrives from deep within, a single word. Lies.
Redulus sought the secrets of the gods. Redulus sought the God King, and Redulus died at Lucian's hand.
Hunger rises deep within you. You, or the thing inside you, wants his source so badly you can taste it. The hunger dies away. you feel lightheaded. The gods now seem like tyrants, feeding upon their worshippers' source, like their cattle raised to be slaughtered. The lovers stare into each other's eyes, together at last. Tarion registers your presence for the first time. She smiles at you in gratitude. Redulus gives you a nod of acknowledgement. You know they'll leave now for the Hall of Echoes. They turn to each other. The Voidwoken rears its head as you approach, its beady eyes looking past you. You glance over your shoulder and see Fane staring at it, transfixed. You! The Voidwoken hisses as Fane approaches. It calls him traitor, but it calls him brother too. Fane's drive to uncover the universe's secret saw the Eternals cast into the Void. His hubris saw his people turned into Voidwoken. But the Voidwoken offers him a chance to redeem himself, to rejoin his people. If he accepts the God King's covenant, all will be forgiven. The Voidwoken claims that the Eternals can return to this world, that Fane can be home again. The skeleton looks back at you.
I'm sorry, brother. I cannot. I cannot see this land destroyed just so we can rebuild our more imperfect world. I have a new home now.
Very well, traitor. Side with your mortal pets. Share their fate.
A Void Woken stares intently at you. This creature seems different. It sways with a sinewy purpose. Intelligence glints in its eyes.
Step back, Hanola. The time of mortals draws to a close. We have returned to claim what is ours. We have returned to claim the world. All mortals are thieves. You have stolen our world. All the world is ours. We are not the void, mortal. We are of the world. You are of the void. When we were banished, you were made. You owe your entire existence to us. You owe us everything. We were betrayed by the 7 usurpers. They took our powers and used them to create you. They sent us to the void and thought we'd never return. They were wrong. And now they will face the wrath of the king. They were little more than local barons, until Fane the traitor found the veil. In their greed, the 7 tore its fabric. This gave them power. It made them gods. And it let the void into the world, and saw us banished to its clutches. You left us no choice. We had no other tools. We shall return, and then we shall cast out the void. Do not resist us. We shall be who we once were, and the world shall be restored to what it was before we were betrayed. Because of that betrayal, you exist. Because of what was stolen from us, you exist. Because of the powers we lost, you exist. We will have them back. But we will not fight your husk, mortal. The time will come when the thieving coward inside of you must step out. If it can still walk, you shall end then.
What you were told hangs in the air like a noxious cloud. The Void Woken were Eternals, robbed of their source in order to create you. They allied themselves with the Void so they could return.
These beings had their time and were overthrown. This is our world now. We have to fight for it.
This might have once been their world, but that doesn't give them the right to destroy it.
Whatever claims these creatures have over this world became forfeit the moment they embraced the void.
My people. What have they done to you? This cannot stand. You must be restored.
automaton still and silent before you. A faint glow pulsates from within its chest cavity, dormant perhaps. A compartment in the side of the contraption appears to be empty. There's a part missing. The capacitor sparks and fizzles. Then, the pulsating light begins circulating throughout the automaton. It rises. The automaton looms above you. A lone, glowing eye takes you in dispassionately.
Hello, Godwoken.
The automaton peers in close at your face.
You are a fine specimen. Most fine. Your arrival is long overdue. This is the Academy. It is a place of great learning. I am the Seneschal. I serve both those who teach and those who come to learn. Those like you. Allow me to show you. The Academy exists to help unveil the divine from amongst the Godwoken. You must enter the temple, then prove yourself in the arena of the One. Godwoken should be able to enter without issue. It seems that the Academy has been impeded due to neglect or interference. I appear to have been tampered with. Whoever is responsible may have caused similar damage elsewhere. Apologies, Godwoken. I trust you will be able to overcome any difficulties. It's quite simple. Defeat all others.
So, hey there, Chief. Miss me? As it turns out, when one friend turns their back on you, another turns toward you with open arms. You left me to die. The God King offered me a new life. Quite an easy choice of allegiances, isn't it? Good luck, of course. You're going to need it. Badly.
You face a familiar foe. Before you was a dwarf you once knew, or at least thought you did. You see in his sneer a new beast. Nobility twisted into arrogance. Coarseness turned to cruelty.
The God King has birthed a new son. I don't fight the coming storm. I am the coming storm, and you won't be escaping it, old friend.
Much to your surprise, you encounter Ifan Ben Medst once more, but wasn't he dead?
Alive? I am far from alive. I am sworn to the Covenant. And you too will be far from alive after I face you in the arena of the One.
He smirks, and something awful glitters in the void behind his eyes. Something you never saw there before, something you hope never to see again.
Yes, it's me. In the flesh, to an extent. No such thing for those who scar themselves for the God King. I've found a new master. A kind master. A promise of eternity. Through him, I shall be free.
Look here. My erstwhile comrade in arms. My newfound mortal enemy. Behold, the Prince of Darkness. I cannot be denied. Not even death can stop me. I have answered the God King's call. One day he'll answer to me, undead and undefeated.
made it far, sorcerer. Too far.
The Sallow Man may be dead, but his minions still swarm the island. My followers did their duty and bought me time to get here. I will honor their sacrifice after I go to the wellspring and ascend.
Alexander offers only a stoic nod in affirmation, his eyes glowering intensely.
This is how it is meant to be. How my father intended it to be. Even here he guides me to my destiny. Birthright. I've been fighting for this all my life. Not once have I even considered yielding. There's nothing you can say to sway me now.
Alexander's resolve visibly crumbles under the force of your words. When he speaks, his voice is a croak.
It's a curse to be a great man's son, you know. Truly a curse. How could I ever hope to lead the world out of darkness when I can't even escape my father's shadow? Someone stronger than me needs to become the next Divine of Rivellon. I think you have what it takes. I will do everything I can to support you.